Good afternoon. It's KrossGamer here. I want to chat a little bit about the game and my experience. You may hear my kids in the background. I'm a father, so my apologies ahead of time if you can't hear so clearly. Try to keep it louder and cut it up so you can hear me. I want to talk about how my experience in the game and how I enjoy it and so on, and my criticism towards it as well, the negatives of the game and what could improve and so on, I think. Uh, and I would like to uh, talk about others' opinions as well on the game itself because I do watch others' opinions and I may share their opinions on the game. I may or may not share their opinions on the game.
Skins of leather and steel.
Um, so far, I like the game. Um, I had to take a step back and think about it when I playing postseason. I had rushed through the game like most. I had the game. Postseason, I had to learn the game because this is my first AR RPG, so I didn't know much about the game. Or, but to kind of find out, it plays like other RPGs to me. You get your stats and so on. It's more of a hack and slash, like most people have said, as far as the videos I watched. Um, it's a little more than that, I guess, when it comes out to builds and once you get into difficult challenges, I should say. Uh, those challenges could be difficult to get to when trying to learn the game itself. And this is all postseason. I feel like I have more of a grip on understanding the content and the stats and the way the system is ran. Um, through the community as well. And then just reading the things and reading it and making mistakes and doing it over and figuring it out. Uh, I haven't ran through multiple characters or anything like that. My preferred character to play with was going to be Druid, and pretty much just going to be Druid for me. Um, I haven't thought about playing any other character because I'm not interested in playing any other character. But and not only that, to me, for others, it might be easy to run through the game and do whatever and figure out or copy and paste somebody's build and so on. I wanted to experience the game my way and not rush through it. I did that in the postseason. I felt like to a degree, and I think that kind of uh, hurt me in a sense. I know this time I kind of just built my character up, and then I skipped the season, the campaign actually. Um, and I think this. I don't think I should have skipped the campaign because how I'm seeing the game and looking at issues with players having, playing and so on. And I think they talk about replayability on the game and so on. There, I didn't play the campaign again, and I felt like if I played the campaign, I could have been uh, got my character stronger and relived the same story and stuff and so on. They would have made more quests, I should say, because I like the quests. The thing is, I know for I did my research on the past games and some other ARPGs and the content that they display, and for the little knowledge that I have about ARPGs and the past ones, as far as this game, it only has two classes necessarily that was from the past. Mm. So the game, far as what I see from the past game, is that uh, that it was like 28 seasons or something like that or whatever. The game looked completely different. This one, Diablo 4, looked completely different to Diablo 3. Far as what I seen, far as views I looked at from past YouTube streamers and so on. So, uh, and far as what I see, far as the team, they're not all the same people that played made the last one. Uh, Trying to make my assessment off those games since I never played them or anything like that. I always heard about them. I had friends who played them. I just never played it. Uh, to be honest with you, it reminds me of World of Warcraft. Not that I don't like uh, the art style or anything, but I feel like that's a better art style for something like this. Um, uh, I don't think he should be comparing games necessarily in the same sense because when you comparing games to another game and they're trying to go for a different route with a game and you comparing it to the same one or when it's in the past, don't get me wrong, some things they shouldn't change or should have still added in there or whatever or kept in there. But I think it just takes time, especially with them being in live service game now. Hey, um, I'm not trying to make any excuses for them or anything like that, but uh, I think DM explained it or Asmog said something like that because I watched their videos too. They seem to be entertainment and a lot of people watch them too. So, but like not having a lot more content in the end of the game instead of just having a bunch of nightmare dungeon is kind of lame. But the problem I see is a lot of people say the story doesn't matter and so on. I think the story in games does matter. Uh, me talking, I'm dying. Um, the stories and games matter to me, to be honest with you, because it gives you something to slow you down and listen to, regardless of how dumb the story is or whatever however you think the story is dumb or so on. I don't think I put on my potion or something because they hit me too hard and I'm not being able to take on this damage. I should be. I need to get him down. Yeah, this is hurting. Oh man, I need to get you out of here. This bow hurts. Sorry, I had to get this monster out of here. Couldn't concentrate and talk at the same time. Um, I think the story matters because some like it. I hear people, well, it's all cheesy, yada yada yada. I don't expect anything so big or anyone to make a hack and slash story to be so great or anything. Like I'm not saying it can't be good or anything or anything. I don't think the story in Diablo 4 is terrible or anything like that. I don't mind the story, to be honest with you. I don't know what people expect. I don't know many people writing stories themselves to even compare about uh, to talk about making stories and so on or whatever. But with that being said, if they added more questing to do in there, I think that'd be and put stuff that we need tied into it would be a great idea. Instead of just having to do a bunch of nightmare dungeons, as I said before, people don't. I'm not sure if they like to do dungeons and stuff I mean, questing and so on as much. But I like running around. It's giving the outworld or the open world something to do out there, and then just be there. Um, and then just doing nightmare dungeons all the time. Like I like running around exploring and so on. Add something new. Uh, to be honest with you, I'm kind of disappointed in the season 1 story, and I have to agree with others who have said the story was pretty much is like I get it. It does. It's like something an event that's like on the side, but it was like necessarily. I don't necessarily recall actually like I got gameplay of it, but I don't recall actually doing a lot or recall of the story that much. Like why you know what I mean? Like how it's not in Spanish. It's like it's a short story. Like I think that's an issue right there already. Like it's nice to have all these abilities because of that situation, uh, due to what whatever the guy did and so on. But it's Like I went through it and didn't realize that was it. Like I put it off for so long. I was already getting malignant hearts and so on. But when it came down to the story itself and everything happened, I pretty much just go kill this, kill that, and like not really talk much about anything. Like there's no cinematic scenes, that many cinematic scenes. I actually don't recall any, to be honest with you. Like the guy talked to you and so on, but that was it. But it was, and then I understand there's a stronger version of the end boss in the story of the season. I just wish there was more questing to do. For what I know, uh, a lot of judgment is being put on the game right now to be better, and, and I have to agree with it as well. To a extent, I can't compare it to like Diablo 3 or anything because that's progress over time. Stuff there. That's basically all that is. Like, um, the progress made over time makes that game seems huge, but just fine. Um, I think they should add in a lot more quests, a lot of more random stories or something. Um, because I don't want to just focus on like focusing is great and all, but that's pretty much what it comes down to at the end of doing everything and basically playing for the money to get a better piece than what you have, or the same piece and better spec stats on them or whatever. And hopefully you got the same role again with your other aspects. Yeah, I didn't use my elixir. This is horrible. Hmm, I don't want to die again. Um, from other games like well, let's continue to talk about this one. Um, I think adding more content for as questing and then just doing dungeons. Like I really care about what the people say on the outside, like far as like just the little stories, the little quests that could be added. Like I don't care if it's travel here, A to B. It is an MMORPG. There's an outside world, so there needing to be something to do on the outside world than just to be existing there for certain other things like hell ties and so on. I just don't want to do the same uh, thing over and over again. Like it's more, it could be more to the game. uh, in that opinion, uh, I thought season one would be like more quests or something, but it's just, I guess the ideal was to basically do the campaign over again to me. That's how I took the idea, is to do the campaign over. One reason why I said that is because the guy uh, that we play to help out with the Malignant Hearts said something about in the story about you the guy that did this, did that, and so on. They the ones who talk about you in stories and whatever. So with that being applied to me, My character, even though this is a reroll character, is not Yobo. This is Mofo. Uh, uh, I'm insinuating that story in the sense of him just saying that, even though it's not like a big deal, but he's taking it in the sense that I used this character, completed the campaign, and with this character, and that's why they speak of me. So it's basically like, in a sense, giving the option of players who don't want to do the campaign again, don't care about the story and so on, to not do it again, to pass by it. So I didn't think of it in that sense that I should do this whole story again and not skip by it. But then I would have to wait to uh do the season events, because I think I would have had to. I'm not sure. I don't know if I had to wait or anything. If I already completed the season with my internal character. So, but I know you had to complete the season. Uh, I mean the campaign the first time on your internal character before you was able to uh, play the seasonal stuff. So, with that being said, I don't know if that was the case or not, but I that's how I take it, since that's what it was said um, through the story, for those who didn't really pay attention to it or not and just went through it. So, look, I think the game over time could get better. Um, it's not something like I think one of the creators, YouTube creators, said it's not their problem to worry about it and so on, but they understand in the sense or whatever. And like, I agree with that opinion, because that's the truth. I shouldn't have to care about such things. It should be already some more to do in the game than besides nightmare dungeons all the time. Especially with it being a lot of servers and your seasons coming up and y'all been working on the content. So I come from the days where I didn't have to do such things when it come. Uh, I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to know that a lot of games, like, even though they had their bugs and so on, but most of the game was there, and I would think people would have a better plan in doing so. I don't want to be like real critical, I guess, in that sense, because I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I don't want to be harsh, too harsh, I guess. Even though I did spend the money for this game, so I just hoping they make good on the game. I think it's a lot of things that they should fix. As far as like, for the most part, what people complain about. Um, Postseason, I probably struggle more because I was learning the game than anything. Um, right now, currently, I don't feel like I'm struggling bad. Granted, you're watching this video, I'm talking, so it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like I died on one life, but that's just because I'm talking. But nonetheless, I feel better about the game now. I don't want to compare it to anything else. And think of people when people compare another game to an older one or or a different game that's similar, uh, you're gonna be let down every time because you're gonna always have something negative to say. And granted, the developers don't make it any better by the things that they promise, I guess, or what's gonna happen in the game. Granted, they do have to watch how they uh, have their vision for the game as well, because I don't want them to lose themselves by doing something that wasn't supposed to be meant to be done, I guess, in a sense. But they do need to correct a lot of things that doesn't make sense as well, and to make this fun for everybody. Um, I think you should play the game how you want to. I started out playing in the sense that uh, I take it slow in a sense, but now there's things that load me up faster. Like, granted, I don't have the time to sit here all day, even though I do play a lot all the time. Uh, Sometimes I'll be on, sometimes I don't. Uh, got children to take care of and so on. Granted, I like that I could go through it and take my time and build up and then start the story or whatever. I think I should have did that before I did the campaign, uh, the seasonal, to see if I could do still could do the seasonal event regardless if I'm not uh, finished with the campaign with the seasonal character. I have to look into that on when I start a new character or something, so I know in the future what future characters. But I think that's what they wanted in a sense because if you think about it, it's like you gotta. There's not much content if you skip the campaign with your seasonal character. You don't do a lot of quests in that sense. You miss out on a lot of quests when you skip the campaign because that means you complete the campaign. The character talks to you as if you completed the campaign with this character, and you haven't, but you did with the previous character. So just going by that, that's what they're going on for the repayability. I'm assuming. So I guess I should have started it like that, but I didn't think about it until uh, you actually play and think about it. I don't mind the story, but at the same time, I think they should have added more quests within this uh, season. Like I'm all for adding new content and so on, like new builds and whatever. But when people keep saying the story, it doesn't matter. They don't focus on that at all. So it seems like there's nothing else to do. Like I don't think it was bad at all. I know it's not going to continue off the main story until like an expansion or something. I assume, but that's until then. they could still make these meaningful seasons be meaningful than not be meaningful or just be useless in a sense. Because not only that, uh, the season when the season's over, uh, the items are gone as well. Some may stay, some may not. Some seasonal things may stay, some may not. So it's like we won't know until it comes and we see what's the new thing for the next season, starting over and so on. How would these other stories play out when we're in different seasons and so on? Is what I want to kind of know in a sense in the future of this game. And like, is it just a story? It's like because I don't feel like it was a big story or meaningful story whatsoever. Like I like the powers, I like where it could have went, but it didn't seem like it had anywhere to go as far as the story. As far as the powers and so on. Uh, don't get me wrong, I already felt weak before postseason because I wasn't using anybody's build or anything but my own and what I was learning from it because I wanted to be the werebear and that's all I care about was being a werebear. So, um, but I do agree with most people's opinions on the game to a degree. Um, to speak on a game that is not Diablo, and that's PoE 2 and PoE itself. I never, I played PoE, but to be honest with you, graphically, I couldn't get past that. And plus, I played it at, I guess, a later date. I'm not sure than what others are at right now in that game. Um, I watched gameplay of other people playing it and so on. I think it's a nice game once you get so far up in level and so on. Um, uh, on higher levels, I think it's a great game once you get to higher levels. But that's PoE one. As far as what I've seen, I just couldn't stomach it to that point. Graphically, it just didn't look great to me, and it played uh, weird for me. To me, I didn't probably give it enough chance to play it. I'm not saying it's not a great game, because I think it's awesome when looking at it. Um, and then same thing with Diablo 3, because it had a different art style and aura around it. It's still the same here in a sense, I would say, as far as where I get the vibe off of it. It's just more surreal on the graphics and the different art style that they went this time with the series. Um, Speaking on PoE 2, uh, it looks like a great game. I'm not gonna lie, it looks really awesome. I can't wait to play it. Being Diablo will be my first ARPG MMO. Um, I'm looking forward to playing that as well. I see a lot of criticism about people spent $70 on this game and yada 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 and PoE this and this and that. Look, it's not about comparing games. You're comparing games, and then you're like, I'm pretty sure PoE got some kind of thing that you're gonna have to pay for something, being free to play and so on. I think if you just enjoy the games and play the games and start comparing them, you have a lot more fun. Uh, I don't think you should compare to other companies and what they do that is similar to each other. they understand. I don't think they're taking shots at each other in the sense that that discourage people, I guess, from playing one another. With that being said, they're being similar in nature. I wouldn't want to go into it thinking about like how something else does something better. Granted, there is things that they do that one does better than the other that I do see. Like I think uh, Diablo 4 could benefit from, and that is uh, like the dodge roll that I just seen in the new trailer from Path to Exile 2. I think I'm gonna do a reaction to that as well. Uh, to that video, PoE 2. Um, but for this one, um, for Diablo and comparing the two, I wouldn't want to compare the two. Uh, if you like these type of games, I think you should enjoy them for what they are and talk to those developers and making those games a better games to play. If you want to play one over the other, then that's fine. You want to play both, I think that's fine. I don't think nobody should complain about which one is better and which one is this and that, and who spent this and this and that on what. Uh, I don't get that. You know what I mean? If you have a good time in playing it, or you want to go the free to play route and just wait for PoE, and glad you didn't, so that's fine. But when people argue that stuff, it's like, that's weird. It's weird to me. You know what I mean? Not every game out there is great, and you don't know if it's going to be a bust. Not everybody is going to be able to play, and so on. So, but if you like the games, just enjoy the games and don't compare 'em. You know, I know it's a lot of comparison in games. That's what makes games not fun these days. You could keep comparing games with other games, and you're not having a great time. It's like a lot of laughter throughout the community. How this game sucks, this game sucks, this game sucks. It's some games great and this or whatever. I'm not a I'm a fan of playing games, not a fan of complaining. I will complain to who I need to complain to of the game that's having issues and so on, but complaining and saying this in a negative way and all the time is redundant. Um, and then there's players who don't play and they're talking about the game. Well, you can't experience the game through somebody else's gameplay. Like, granted, they're having difficulties or whatever. Let's say if they're having difficulties, you're not experiencing the gameplay necessarily. You're playing, so you can't judge off of such experience. That's not your experience. You're experiencing it by watching, true enough, but you're not playing it. You go about things, and when you're playing a game, doing it different than someone else will. You'll never make the same action as somebody else will. You don't play as aggressive or casual, or it depends on the person or however things are played. You don't play like one another. So, and then the game is for you to play, and I say don't rush. It's just the beginning, I guess. I'm not making excuses for the developers because I care less. They don't pay me and or anything, but uh, granted, they made this and they lack the content by uh, just having us fight dungeons all the time, like a dungeon mobile game or something. Um, when it's an open world for a lot of questing and a lot of events that could be happening, uh, that I assume that would happen, you know. I'm not knocking the game. I think it's good at what it does. It's a good game. I just want more content and questing, not just, what I mean, even questing Hell Tide or something. It doesn't really matter what the content is. I think more questing would be great, especially with all the little systems that they're putting in for renown and so on. If we could have that tie into that 3 months of questing, like a lot of quests, then just because even if we added the seasonal quests towards the campaign quests and side quests, that's not a lot of quests. I could finish all those if I really sat at it and went at it. So, um, when PoE do come out, I know this is not PoE, it's Diablo, but when do PoE 2 come out, I will be playing, and I will still be playing Diablo 4. So I'm not a I'm cross gamer for a reason. I play on any console if I have it at the time. I'm still working on getting a PlayStation. That's just financial things, and there's other things that's more important right now. Same thing with computer, PC. I do play on PC with GeForce now, but right now uh, I'm not biased on games or what's what. Uh, I feel like the community is right on complaining about what the game needs and what needs to be improved. Uh, but I think we need uh, to be more diligent on what we actually want in the game. And I think quests, having more quests and more activities like questing in the game. And look, people don't like say the story is mediocre or whatever, crap, yada yada yada. I don't care. Give me something like that. Stories. I don't care how crappy it is necessarily. Um, I don't know many gamers or many people that can write a good story, but it doesn't. It's not like it has to be drawn out in some kind of whatever. This is Blizzard. I played World of Warcraft years ago. I'm pretty sure they could still make stories and little side quests and little. I know it takes time to do these things. You probably won't see it until later on seasons, but my thing is, I think we need more quests, more things to do, more activities in that sense than just running dungeons. Having a dungeon finder, that'd be cool. I like to see that more done for a dungeon finder for people to group up together. Uh, they could add in raids, like that'd be great for some other content. Um, I hear people talking about adding the war tier 5. Well, the problem with adding a war tier 5 is it's called Diablo 4. So I don't see them adding a war tier 5 whatsoever. That's like another structure and hardness in the game. What they have to do, if y'all wanted it to be that hard, structure the game in the sense like how they structured the war tier for that to happen. It won't be a war tier 5. This is World War. This is Diablo 4. So there's only going to be 4. So I don't know where that's coming from necessarily, but there's not like that. I already could see that concept already, or why it's only 4 tiers. So they will have to balance the difficulty between all 4 war tiers instead of adding 5. They will have to integrate or make another game that's live service that's Diablo 5 to make War Tier 5 in that sense. That's only how I could even picture this concept actually being a thing. So, um, and then I think being 4 could be more balancing for them, but having the extra fifth tier may help them as well. I don't know, but I don't see them adding no. another war tier. And this is the fourth game of theirs. So um, we're better off just having them structure the game like it needs to be structured. Uh, right now, the game is basically find a nice build and do dungeons. It's a dungeon game at the end. It's a dungeon game at the end. That's all you do. Unless you do like I am, where I save most of my quests. I only did enough quests to I only did enough quests to get my Paragon points when I got to level 50. So I was working on that so I can get all those. I didn't want to complete them all because it wouldn't be nothing for me to do. I don't want to take my time doing it and be powerful doing it. That's my idea of slowing myself down. And then we got 3 months, so the season just started. So sort of. And granted, I'll still run through those quests. But the point is, I want to slow it down and take my time and listen to them, whatever, just because I want to, and make some good videos for my Facebook and YouTube. Um, that's what I want to do. If they added more quests, I think it'd be great. Uh, the dungeons that we're doing now, that I'm not sure revamped or just different ones that they sending us to or something like that. I do enjoy how they're set up and how they're like. Don't get me wrong, I run into a couple that probably be a little bit longer. Um, some is short. I like the short ones, and I run through those. I like that. That I'm going through different dungeons and so on. I have no really big complaints about the game so far. I'd be interested what they're doing with this patch 1.1.1, whatever it's called, uh, coming up this on the 8th, I think it is. Uh, because I think they do need a boost on and things. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Uh, 'Cause things hit way too hard for you not to get uh, the things you need to defend or reduce against it. I'm glad they're taking certain affixes out, which is kind of redundant because they're annoying, really annoying. You're just gonna die. They're just plain and simple. You're gonna die. So um, another thing I want to talk about that's from PoE and Diablo, and I could see why people compare. We only could talk about PoE 2's new content that they came out with. And that's so far right now of playing because I don't know how far as PoE the first one, as far as when I started, I was slow. So and PoE 2 looks kind of slow right now. Like it's interesting. It's it's a lot of maneuvering and so on. It looks slow right now, but later on, and once people get their hands on it and stuff and so on, we will have to judge at that point. We can't judge right now because judging right now is like, what's the point of judging right now when it might not be what it is later on? You know what I mean? Once you got your hands on it. Yeah, I mean, they're showing all this content, and it's not to knock anything that they're doing, but we know from what I see from PoE 1, yes, there are two different games, but then at the same time, every game got its thing where it got this. looseness, and I'm pretty sure it's there for PoE too. We just have to wait and see. There's not much information we get, besides what's been given and what we've seen from people speaking on it and how they're comparing it. I think it's a wait and see thing because, like, when I started with PoE, like, granted, I didn't go too far, but I felt like it was slow and so on. But when I watched others' content and how fast characters were moving, how powerful they were, uh, the game looks awesome, and them being everywhere in the world. And I think PoE 2 has more potential to keep me sticking around because the graphics and the mechanics that I see from the start, that looks way better to me, in my opinion, than PoE. So, um, and I'm going to be playing PoE 2 and Diablo 4. So, yeah, I can't wait. Uh, PoE 2 seems to have a different mechanic. Uh, like, I'm not saying Diablo 4 doesn't have the same mechanics, but I feel like PoE 2 mechanics have a more, like, almost a realism to it, more grounded realism to it, more, that's just from what we've seen so far. So there's no telling what happens later on where it could start to look like PoE itself. So, but from the beginning, I like what it looks like. So I'm liking how it looks like right now. So, but like, and then again, I am not comparing them to say which one's better and so on. I'm gonna like them for what they are, and I'm gonna play them for what they are. Granted, certain things look different, and I say it's two different art styles and so on. Um, so yeah, I'll make a PoE video here and talk about it more because I don't want to make this about it when this is Diablo. So, but Diablo could right now just needs more questing. That's what I'm gonna say. Quests. We need quests, side quests, more story towards the season stories. I just don't want to do all dungeons all the time. Different strongholds, more strongholds where the season is something where the monsters took over these strongholds and it's a story behind it with side quests. You know, like, I'm not trying to add expansion yet or something like that, but something like that to expand on stuff like that. I think uh, to just be in the world, the open world, especially with them increasing the density everywhere. They give a reason why we should do these side quests and more side quests to exterminate these monsters. I'm not gonna make this a longer video than it is, but I wanted you to subscribe and like the video if you agree with some of the opinions that I have towards the game and so on. Uh, you can follow me on Facebook and subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me on Twitch. Thank you.